Hi everyone, and welcome back to Survival Strategies for Depression. Today we're going to be talking about the very important strategy of work and activity. And today we're also filming with the backdrop of Christchurch City behind us. And I've chosen Christchurch City because Christchurch post-earthquakes has required a lot of work and activity to get its strength back. And it's a little bit like that for us mentally and psychologically, that work and activity is essential if we are to stay strong mentally. Now, if we think about work for a moment, we spend most of our time actually at work. So if you hate your job, it's likely that it's going to have a negative effect on your mood. I like the saying that if you love your job, you're probably never going to work a day in your life. I think there's some truth in that. Now, work can give us many positives and benefits in our life. It can give us a sense of productivity, it can give us a sense of achievement, and it can give us a sense of progress. It provides income and a social context to our lives. But if you're feeling depressed or you're just not feeling your normal self, it can be incredibly difficult to get the energy and the motivation to stay working and to stay active in your life. Even things like getting up in the morning and getting dressed and heading off to work can be a real effort. However, it's often the case that the less you do, the worse you feel. If you're feeling a little low or depressed, it's essential that you stay active. The worst thing for you would be for you to be at home, looking at the wall, doing nothing. That's the kind of environment where depression thrives and flourishes. We can't do that. If you're wanting to feel better, if you're wanting to restore your sense of well-being, you must develop regular and meaningful activity in your life. And it's true that unemployed workers are twice more likely than their employed counterparts to experience psychological problems such as depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. However, on the other hand, work can be a significant component of a person's low mood and depression. Excessive workload, too much pressure with deadlines, unsociable hours, an unsupportive working environment, bullying and harassment, problems with colleagues, or having too much responsibility, or maybe not enough responsibility. Perhaps it's the lack of job security, redundancies or cutbacks, pay or hours of work, or simply a lack of job satisfaction. So now if you have a job, your first strategy is to make sure that you enjoy your work as much as possible and that you manage those things that you don't enjoy about the job. Now the next strategy is to increase your skills, knowledge and experience. That's very important. This will help you enjoy your job more, plus it will give you breaks and distractions from the parts that you don't like about your job, and it will really increase your chances to get a more satisfying job. Now, if you don't currently have a job, this can be a really tough place to be. So hang in there and be encouraged. We've all probably been there at one time in our lives or another. The first strategy for you, if you don't have a job, is to make it your job to get a job. That's really important. Now, your next strategy, if you're currently in between jobs, is to stay as active as possible with job-seeking tasks. So make it your plan every day, get a things to do list and make it your plan to involve yourself in job-seeking and securing tasks. These might be things like going and talking to a past employer and letting them know that you're looking for work. It could be talking to ex-colleagues that you've worked with and letting them know that you're looking for work. It could be handing out your CV to potential employers. It could be a whole range of things, but it's really important that you do it in a planned and a methodical way so that it happens. The other thing that you need to add to your your daily schedule, if you like, is meaningful activity. So when you're not doing those job-seeking tasks, it's really important that you are doing meaningful things that make you feel good and that are important to you. These can be things that are good for you, like exercise or social contact or leisure activities. You could take the dog for a walk, you could play a sport, you could go for a run, you could go to the gym, you could catch up with friends, and you could get involved with hobbies that maybe you haven't had a chance to do before. So it's really important that if you're not currently working, that your day is full, that you are busy, and that you are active. Now, whether you are currently looking for a job or you've been in a job for years, it's likely that work will be having an impact on your mood. Whether you don't have a job or whether you do have a job, work is going to be impacting your mental health. Now, working and staying active is essential for you to stay mentally well and to maintain a positive mood. Now would be a really good time to reflect on some of the strategies that you've heard to improve activity and work in your life. It'd be good to turn to the Lifestyle Balance worksheet in your resource book and just consider any things that you think is currently and not helping in this very important area of work and activity in your life. Also, it would be great to identify any things that you've heard today that you think would help and improve work and activity in your life. So when considering work and activity, some examples of things that could not be working or helping could be not making time for what you consider is important in your life. Or if you are not working, you may have even given up applying for jobs. In terms of actions that are needed to improve things, they could be to schedule time for what you consider important in your life, and if not working, to get employment support and start applying for jobs. So that's an example of how to use the Lifestyle Balance worksheet for work and activity. Now you could write in what is relevant to you and your situation. It would also be now a good time to turn the page over and look at the wellbeing plan and actually write in some times and some things that are important for you in terms of meaningful activity. This is really important because this is where you start to create a plan and that will give you a roadmap, if you like, to where you're going, which is either employment or meaningful activity in your life. So in terms of the wellbeing plan, an example of how this might look for work and activity. For a person who is not employed, they might dedicate half an hour between 7:30 and 8 p.m. every evening to look for and apply for jobs. They may also schedule in 2 hours of quality family time on a Sunday afternoon, which is something they consider important in their life. So that's just an example of how it could be used. But you can write in now what is relevant to you in your situation. So now would be a good time to decide how much meaningful activity you currently have in your life. Are you doing things that are important to you and that you enjoy, or don't they exist in your life? They need to. Let's write them in that wellbeing plan and get them started. So that brings us to the end of this very important strategy of work and activity. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope some of the things we've talked about today resonate with you and that you can put some of them into practice and increase your sense of well-being. Now, if you feel you need more than this program right now, you can call one of the numbers on the screen for someone to talk to.